everyone, Brian Hilbert with Anglers Covey, and coming at you with another Bug of the Month fly tying video for you. Today we're going to be tying my blackfly larva. This is definitely a code cracker pattern for me, one I've been fishing a long time. It's very simple and easy to tie, so if you're a beginner fly tyer, this is a good one for you. If you're an advanced fly tyer, don't overlook the simplicity of this pattern. This is an absolute code cracker, especially on tough days in the winter, early spring. I have had success on it really throughout the year, primarily in the winter and early spring. This is definitely one that's brought me a lot of success. Now, blackfly larvae, they're not as popular of an insect for us to imitate because we don't really target them at any stage of their life cycle besides the larva. A lot of people find these larvae in the stream and think they're a midge. They do have a lot of similarities to a midge. However, there's a very distinct profile to this pattern, I think, is what separates it, and it's that teardrop shape. Super excited to share this one with you guys. Let's get into tying it. Alright, so super simple pattern here. The hook that we're going to use today is a Tiemco 2488. I also tie this on a Daiichi 1120. We're going to do an 18 today. Really, there's only two materials to this fly. We're going to use Vivus Body Quill. This is color code BQ11. It's kind of a tan color. I also do these in olive as well. You can certainly play around with it, but tan and olive are the ones that I do the most. Alright, so I'm going to start this pretty much right in the center of the hook here. I'm going to wrap rearward. I'm going to treat this body quill just like I would thread. We're going to trim off that tab. Now this body quill can be very delicate and maybe takes a little bit of time and practice to work with. However, it's really the required material to give the effect that we want on this particular pattern. Now this is going to behave just like thread, to where it cords up tight like a rope, or it uncords and lays flat. Now what we want to do is build a flat body rearward on the fly and back forward. And you'll notice as you wrap, it's going to tighten this material. If you just continue to tie the fly, it's going to get so tight that this material will break. So we're going to have to continually uncord the material periodically as we go through the tying process. What I'm going to be doing here is building a football shape towards the back of the fly. I'm going to achieve that by doing touching turns back and forth, stopping every 20 or 30 wraps and uncording, making sure that material is nice and flat. Blackfly larvae have a very distinct teardrop shape to them, where the bulk of their body is going to be towards the rear. And that's going to be the profile that we're looking to capture here. It's going to make this pretty much just a nice little dubbing ball, or not dubbing ball, but thread ball with this body quill material. About like so. And don't worry if it's lumpy, because we're going to coat this with resin and smooth everything out. I will say that I really like these right bobbins with the adjustable tension for this material. You can adjust the tension really light so that you don't risk breaking it. So that's about the shape of the body we're looking for here. And all we're going to do is then advance this forward to the hook eye. I'm going to pull out a little bit of extra material, and we're going to do a very gentle two-turn whip finish. Snug it down just a little bit, don't pull too hard, because it'll break, and we'll trim that off. Now the other trigger point that we're going to look for here on this pattern, aside from the profile, is this distinct black head that blackfly larvae have. And all I'm going to do is just grab a secondary bobbin and start a 4-turn jam knot right there behind the hook eye. I'm going to trim that as short as I can, and we're actually just going to go right into our whip finish This is just some black 8/0 thread. I'm using Semperfli, but you can certainly use any small diameter thread that you have on hand. Okay, so that gives us our body and the head. Now for durability, we're going to put some Solaris Bone Dry on this guy and coat the whole thing. Mine's a little thicker than normal because it's been sitting in the car on a cold day this morning. But we're just going to smooth everything out. And really emphasizing that fatter rear end towards the back. I got a little bit of a excess buildup right there at the front. There we go. Once I'm satisfied, we'll hit it with the UV light. Due to the amount of resin on this, I do like to give it a good 8 or 10 seconds. Really like utilizing the rotary function here where I can just hold the light steady and rotate the fly. Now if I don't have a rotary, I can very easily just maneuver my light around the fly. Just make sure you get full coverage here and adequate cure time. So that is it there. That's a completed fly. That is Hilbert's blackfly larva. This is definitely a fly you can crank out and fill a lot of rows in your fly box with in no time at all. Certainly a guide style fly, just the one material plus thread. Absolute code cracker, in my opinion, here in the Rockies and really anywhere that you have blackfly larva. Alright, so that's my blackfly larva. Very simple, easy to tie, minimal materials. You can certainly play around with the colors. Tan and olive are kind of my bread and butter. I have had success tying this in a pink. For whatever reason, that profile with the black head really sets it apart and is a great code cracker. If you're having a tough day, can't figure out what they're eating, I almost always get them to eat this fly. You can buy all the materials for this fly here at the shop. If you have any questions about tying it, definitely don't hesitate to come in, and we'll catch you on the next one.